Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about the 2024 European Parliament elections in Europe, so not in any particular country. This is important, this is extremely important because it determines who holds the power in the EU, and we are very used to that being the establishment, with Jean-Claude Juncker, with Ursula von der Leyen, and those characters. So I have an extra graph here for the 5 most important countries, and I gave some extra stash with some of the leaders just to get the details up. Here up in the left corner you have Greta Thunberg's twin brother, who is the leader of the far left group in the European Parliament, basically socialists and communists. Below him you have the French leader of Emmanuel Macron's party in the European Parliament, or well, he is the leader of Renew, which is the liberal group for all of Europe, not just France. On the right, on the upper right, we have Manfred Weber, leader of the EPP, the European People's Party, which is the liberal, conservative, establishment Schill's party. And then you have Marco Zanni down in the right corner, which is the leader of the ID, and he is Italian, as you might hear from the name. Now, I've chosen only to take the 5 biggest countries in the EU because less detail, and it would be just way too long to go into all of them. So Germany, France, Italy, Poland and Spain are all quite important, and they have different political systems in many cases, different political societies. In some countries, for example, the Social Democrats are still quite big. In other countries like France, they've been replaced by the Liberals. But I'm going to go through each and every of these countries. And I'm going to start with Germany. This was the election in 2019, and since then polling has suggested that, let's see, it's down here, Germany. Yes, the AfD has steadily increased from 11%, and they're now polling at 22%, and they are the second biggest party. And the biggest party, if you decide that the CDU and the CSU is 2 separate parties. So that is a really big growth for the AfD, and they carried away with 11% and 11 seats last time. So if we take that, and they have 22%, because some are below the threshold, that means that they would get 22 seats, because there are a lot of parties that will not get seats at all, and I think we need to make this a tad prettier. Yeah, that's better. 22 AfD seats in Germany, and the other establishment parties, you have the EPP, the Union, they would get approximately, this is approximately 23 seats, and the Renew, which is the FDP group, they have steadily declined, but last time they got 5 seats. Yeah, I think it's safe to say they would get 3 seats in this case. The Greens, they are usually growing quite a lot, but they had 20%, and now they are down to 13. And of course you have the Linke, which is like the socialist communist party of Germany, which yeah, that's they are a thing. They are up and going. And then you of course have the SPD, which is no longer really one of the big parties, at least in the European Parliament, despite the fact that they're actually running the country. And when it comes to the ECR, I believe that there is like some small parties that got like 1 seat last time. Yeah, Familia. So many of these smaller parties will also get seats, but that also again is too detailed. So I'm going to stick with this. Now France, no, that's Italy. France is here. In 2019 there was the national rally, now called Rassemblement National, or National Rally, yes. They were the biggest party, and they have been the biggest party in a couple of years now. Actually, they were in 2014 and 2019, because the rest of the parties are of course not that united. But looking at how they did the last time, they got 23% of the vote, 23 seats, and they are about 24, 25 now, and that's alright. But what really matters here is that Eric Zemmour's party, the Reconquête, it did not exist last time. They are to the right of Rassemblement National and will probably also join the ID group. And they are looking as they would get about 6 seats, which means 31 seats in general for the French right-wing populists. Let's then go on to, well, we can talk about Macron's party. Macron's party is about 24, 23, somewhere around there. Let's say just 23 seats. And otherwise, no, this is hard because the French, they have made this political alliance within the left. So I'm not going to pretend as I am going to be an expert on all of these others, but approximately we're just going to continue with the same here to not do any major mistakes. Let's see. Yeah, Social Democrats only got 6% in the last French election, and they're not polling at too much different now. Let's see. The last one, that would be the far left, the socialists. Yes, and they also got 6 seats in the last election. So far it's looking quite bad for the ECR and quite good for the ID group and the establishment, because many of these establishment parties will just work together regardless. But then we go to Italy. Italy last time was a blowout for the right-wing populists, which got 34% of the vote. That's the League, the Northern League led by Salvini. But currently the biggest party is the Brothers of Italy, which was really small back then, led by Giorgia Meloni, who is the Prime Minister. And looking at the polls, which has just started, they are at 29%. That is where they are positioned. 29% in the European Parliament election in Italy would amount to approximately 25 seats. To be, you can never be completely exact. This is mostly estimation. But yeah, that would be 25 seats. And then you have the League and Forza Italia of Berlusconi. They have both about 9%, which apparently is about 6 seats. So they would lose a lot of ground in Italy. And then you have the 5-Star Movement is not a member of any group. They are non-inscrits. They used to be part of the same group as UKIP with Nigel Farage, but they left and that group does no longer exist, so they are non-inscrits. And I did not include the non-inscrits here. Again, for simplicity, because this is like complicated already. So I will not count the 5-Star Movement when they're not member of a group. Then you have the Social Democrats. They got 23% almost and 19 seats. They're currently about 20, so they will not do much better. I think that will be either 17 or 18 seats. I think that's 17 seats approximately. And the left is really, really small in Italy, really non-existent really. As are the Greens and as are the Renew, the Liberals. It's really the three center-right parties and the Social Democrats and the 5-Star Movement that we need to think about. Then we go to Poland, and Poland is again a quite interesting case. So let's see, I believe we have some polling for, no, that was Hungary. Oh, here we do. Okay, so it looks like the establishment, the PiS, the Law and Justice Party, has actually not been doing that well. They were at 45, now they're polling at 35. And I think, I'm not completely sure, but they've lately opened the borders to immigration in a quite big way, which is not really easy to explain why. Same as Meloni in Italy, because they were voted in to not accept masses of immigration. But anyway, they are at 35%. This one got 38 and had 22 seats. I think that would be there in the ECR, so that is about 20 seats. And then you have the Confederation, which is the Congress of the New Right. These parties, they are polling higher and higher. It's quite small here, but they're about 12% currently. 12% in the election. How much would that amount to? I think we're talking about approximately 6 seats based on what these other parties get. And then you have this one, which is a complete shit show. All of these parties together. It's a coalition of the EPP, the Socialists and Democrats, the Renew group, which was called LD back then, and the Greens. Okay. And, well, that's just ridiculous. Anyway, the Civic Commitment. They will probably run alone. They should, and they are at 30%, and they are a member of the EPP. So how many seats would that be? I think we're talking about 16, 17 seats. 17 seats for the EPP. And then these others are quite spread out. Let's see, Viosna. I don't know. The Greens are also polling at... where the hell are they polling? Yeah, no, that was not the Greens, that was someone else. Okay, but look, this is the problem with Polish politics. It feels like the parties are changing all the time, and the Socialists and Democrats, they are at least approximately where they used to be. They've grown a little bit. I think they would win 4 seats, but otherwise it is really hard to say. So I'm just going to continue and go on to Spain, where that would be the last country, because it's like the last big country of the European Union. And here we have the 2019 results, but we also have the election results from this year, from just 2 days ago, to extrapolate and try to understand what will happen in Spain. Okay, so here you have it, and I'm just going to predict that, just like in the other ones here, that the percentage that they got here is going to be a signal about how much they will get in general. So the PP, the Partido Popular, got about 33%, same here as the Social Democrats, meaning that they would also get about 21 seats. Of course, they are EPP member. Vox, which got 12%, they are in the ECR, and 12%, that approximately is 8 seats to the ECR. And then the Socialists are quite big in Spain, 31, almost 32% in this election, which would approximately be 20 seats. I think that is the most correct, the correct way to put it. And then you have the left-wing parties under Sumar, which is basically the new Podemos, the inheritance, or the, yes, Podemos successor. 12%, which again is about 8 seats, and they are in the far left camp. So there you actually have it. The European Parliament elections, approximately from the biggest parties in the biggest countries in Europe, and it's not very accurate, it's just estimation. I try to get all of the important parties from each country, but I'm just going to create a small graph to see how this looks on the big screen. Okay, so here I have a small graph which should show the results from these countries in particular. The EPP, the European People's Party, is still the big one, and well, according to this graph, the second one would be the Identity and Democracy group, but they are bigger in like Italy, France, and Germany. So I'm not sure. I don't think that that's really very telling. And I know that especially the Renew group, but also the Socialists and Democrats, will be a bit bigger than what we see here. But this is just these 5 countries. This is just the biggest parties in these countries taken into account. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative, and maybe you learned something more about the European Parliament. Anyways, thank you all guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.